state, and it was called The Catch, and my little children thought it was a Mexican restaurant. And then I've seen movies, I've seen movies with strippers and professional athletes and lights and poles and all that kind of stuff. This is not that. This is more like Ripley's Believe It or Not. But I didn't know that, and they kept begging me to go, and I was so freaked out. I asked my middle child, Maggie, I said, do you think if I go to this thing, I'm going to feel the presence of Satan? And she said, yeah, girl, I do. And I said to my baby child, who's fascinated by sin, I said, do you think I'll feel Satan? She went, no, I don't think so. They both know I'm very sensitive. I have felt the presence of Satan on Bourbon Street. And all my kids love it. But the last time I was on skis, I was 47 years old. Now I'm 59. And we were going to Alta, Utah, which is beautiful. And I had on that tight outfit. And I was going up the ski lift. I was on the ski lift about to get off, and I had every intention of skiing that year. I had on everything. I was ready to go. And I know how to get off a ski lift, and I know how to ski. But something did not click that day, and I just fell off that ski lift into the snow. And that thing kept going around. And so I just... And then this long-haired boy that worked there with this stuff hanging out of his eyebrows came up to me and said, get up. Get up. And I'll just tell you boys in Wilmington that I had let my core go. And real bad. I had let my core go. And I still had my skis on. I had to get my poles up and try to do that. I don't know how I got up. I don't remember that. I feel like I blacked out because I don't remember a thing. But my boy was standing over there and saw the whole thing. My sweet boy. And I somehow got to the top of that mountain, and he looked at me and he goes, you're okay. Okay? You're okay, Mom. You're okay. Let's get down this mountain. I went, no. And he said, you're okay. Everything's fine. I went, no. God spoke to me. He said, no, he didn't. I said, yes, he did. It wasn't an audible voice. It was in my heart. And he did. God spoke to me. And I remember what he said. He said, get off these things, Leanne. That's what he said. And then I think he said, go sit down at that pizza shack for the rest of the week. I was like, okay. Okay, y'all have been darling. And let me tell you, okay, it's 8:30 now. I'm going to have y'all in the bed by 9:15, okay? I'm going to have y'all in the bed. So if y'all got a melatonin or a magnesium in your purse, hold on, give me a few more minutes and then you can take it. Okay, I've got one more thing to tell y'all and then y'all can go home. And y'all been precious. Thank y'all for doing this for me. Thank y'all. Okay, Chuck Morgan and I were both raised in church. And I wanted to raise my children in church, and he did too. And I'm not saying that, y'all, to say I raised my children in church. I'm saying to y'all that we are so dysfunctional. We are so messed up and dysfunctional that I don't know what would have happened to us if we had not had the Lord. I mean it. I know. Hallelujah. We have the Lord. But let me tell y'all that I believe that Satan did not want my family to go to church. So he would come to our house every Sunday morning so he could stir up some shit. Chuck Morgan and I would fight every Sunday morning just like two rabid dogs in the yard. And I'm ashamed to tell y'all that, but this is what we would fight over. I like to be at church on time. I like to get to church before it starts. Chuck Morgan is a very successful person and very anal retentive and type A, and everything is just so in his life, except time. He has no conception of time. Everywhere we have ever been in 34 years, we've been late. And I'm an on-time person, so it's really been a struggle. Okay, I would be sitting in a minivan in the driveway with the motor running with 3 little children. Chuck Morgan would be standing at the kitchen sink peeling an apple in his underwear. And I would be furious. And eventually he would come out, and I'd be so mad, I'd be pitted out, and I'd be like, it's already started, and it would have already started. I'm like, we might as well not even go. We might as well get out and go back in the house, and then he'd back at me. Okay, here's another thing about Chuck Morgan. Every time we've ever had a fight, he acts like it never happened. Never wants to talk about it. Do not mention it. Poof, it's gone. I like to resolve conflict. I like to talk it over and over and over. And then I like to hang on to it. Push it down. Get it back out if I need it. We would finally get to church. It would be halfway over. We would get these little children in a Sunday school class, and their teachers would look at us like, do better. And then I'm finally getting a pew with Chuck Morgan, and he'd start petting on me and looking at me like he wanted to make out with me. And he would say, what's wrong? I'd say, I'm calling a therapist tomorrow. This is how it would start every Sunday morning. I would get up. I was the young mama, so I would get up before everybody in the dark so that I could start getting ready. And I wanted to take my bath and blow my hair out and put my makeup on, my pantyhose. Back then, I wore pantyhose and a dress to church. And then I would get my 3 little children up, and I'd get them dressed and fed all by myself because my husband was young and his frontal lobe had not developed. And then eventually, Chuck Morgan would get up and pop his boxers and cough up something. Chuck Morgan doesn't use a lot of words. He doesn't like to talk. He'd start staring at me and doing something like this. And I knew what that meant. I think it's because I'd had a bath. And I had to decide. It was up to me. Is it going to be a good Sunday? Are we going to get to go eat chicken after church? Or is it going to be a bad Sunday? And Satan's going to cuss all the way in the minivan to church. It's up to me. And my little children like chicken. So I would say to their daddy, and just think, church is already starting. Say to their daddy, okay. Meet me in the closet. You got 3 minutes. I'm only taking one leg out of these pantyhose. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. go.